Hi everybody. I had someone ask about doing a periscope or starting a podcast, and I just wanted to go through a few things about doing either one of those or which one you should try to go into, and I think this fits really well into broadcasting my farm group. So first I want to talk about Periscope quickly. We've been in Periscope just a couple months after it started, and recently I've seen that its impact, or I don't want to say influence, but its usage I think is down. So unless you have a large Twitter following and a very active one, I probably wouldn't start Periscope right away unless you do have that large following, because that's where it's put, the information and notifications are pushed to is your Twitter following. Next is I want to talk about Facebook Live. I think if you have followers there, and I think it's a good way to start because everybody's on Facebook. So if you have a Facebook page and already have some followers there, I would say a couple thousand on Twitter would be the good way to start with if you're going to start with Twitter or Periscope. On Facebook Live, you really don't need that much, just probably a couple hundred, and that would probably get you where you want to be with the impact on Facebook, because it will grow as you use it. And both of those, if you save those live videos to your phone, you can easily upload those to YouTube. And then once YouTube has live for everybody, if you have a large number of group following you on YouTube, I would go live on YouTube. The next I want to talk about is podcasting. We've been in the podcasting space for 6 years. So I just basically know how to get it done, and how it's been going the last few years. It's basically exploded with the usage of new podcasters and podcasts. So it's a good one to get into. It's not free. To do a good podcast, you're going to have to pay for somebody hosting your file. So with Periscope and Facebook and YouTube, you're using their services, and that's why it's free, and they're hosting it. So you're pretty much up to them, because they could shut you down if they wanted to. But if you had your own podcast, it would be on your site, and you host it on something else, not on your site. So it's going to cost you some money to have that control. So you would need a recorder, and if you're going to have a good sound quality with interviewing people or more than one host, you're going to have a mixer to have the good quality sound. So if that doesn't matter to you, you probably don't have to have the mixer, but if you want good quality sound, you need the mixer. The mixer makes the voices sound evenly when somebody's talking, so somebody's not loud and somebody's soft, and it's very annoying if you're listening to podcasts. You're going to need an MP3 file to upload to your host. Excuse me. And again, it's going to cost, because the others are free, but they can shut you down if they wanted to. If somebody complains enough, or you just don't have the control. But I wanted to quickly go over a couple things that would make it successful on any of these, pretty much. You want to do it regular, so if you're going to go into any of these to be successful, you have to do it regularly, and it builds on itself. So once you start having 10 or so episodes, or people know about it, and the word spreads, and if people like what you say, they will let others know, and but you have to be consistent on that. Next would be, to be successful, you have to have titles, because people have to find you, and that's how they're going to find you, is through your titles and your tags. So like I've heard this so many times, don't be clever with your titles, be clear. So whatever you're talking about, that's what your title's going to be. And whatever files you upload, like to YouTube or up to a podcast, have those files, those video or audio files labeled with those titles. So don't have it just random numbers, because that's another way that you're categorized on those platforms. So your titles and tags, and you just want to, whatever people are searching for, that's what you want to put in those titles and what your topic is about. Next thing is you want to solve problems. I think on any broadcast, you want to be solving problems, unless you're very funny and entertaining and people want to find you that way. Otherwise, people want to know how and why of whatever they're searching for. So just saying, that's just the best way to be found and be known for, and people to come back if you're helpful and you're solving their problems for them. The fourth thing that would be make you very successful is what I call reward your super fans. Twitter has a new thing out that they let you know who your, well, not Twitter, I'm sorry, Periscope has a new thing that lets you know who your super fans are. So it's your super fan, they just people that comment the most, give you hearts the most, share your things the most, and just show up the most. So you want to reward them somehow, and there's many ways of rewarding them. You just have to figure out what means the most to them. Either just recognition or reaching out to them, asking them questions, what they want to hear about. I mean, there's just different ways you can reward those super fans, and I think then you'll have fans for life if they are your super fans and you take care of them. So that's what, if you have any further questions or more specific questions, put them in the comments and I'll get to those. And where your followers are, that's where you want to start. And I would not start more than one. Start with one, become familiar with it and successful with it, and then I would go to add another one if you think that would be helpful for your platform and your message and getting your story out. So any other questions, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer them, and keep broadcasting, everybody.